Jeff Swindell, always good to see you here at Knoxville Raceway. You've always got something cooking. I want to go back, though, to start with your racing career, because I enjoyed so many aspects of what you did. But I also enjoyed you as an announcer. Did you do much of that after the Slick 50 stuff, which is where I first, I think, heard you announce?
Yeah, no, I kind of fell into that deal. I went out and ran a sub for Dave Blaney. He was running an ARC car or something somewhere else, and he was driving the 10 car at the time. So they called me to come out there and drive it, Slick 50 at Manzanita. So I went out and run it and worked real well with Kenny Woodruff and the team. And we had the race won. Herrera blew a motor as we were coming up the lap, him going into 3 with just a few laps to go, and we were checked out. And I got in his water and drove, and it just took me straight to him, turned the car over.
Oh.
So we went back to the motel, and Mike Joy and Dick Berggren were checking in as I was. And we got to talking, and I told them, I said, hey, you just need to put me in the booth, because I didn't have another ride for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
And so they called Pat Patterson, and we got together, and then that's how that all happened. And so once we started doing it, I started doing it the whole time there for a couple of years, and it went real well. We had a lot of fun out there with Pat, and I helped Pat set up the Slick 50 when they moved out of Manzanita up North Phoenix there, and I actually put the points fund together for the guys, because they'd never had one for that.
Yeah, right.
We rounded up all those sponsors for it, and all the trophies donated and all that stuff. So we did all that for the guys. And I worked with Patterson for a long time after that, doing a lot of different things, and went and ran Daytona with the Busch Series car. We had an ARCA car, and Pat helped me put all that together. And so Pat was a big portion of my life there for that part of time. But I really enjoyed working with Mike Joy. And,
yeah, what a
Dick
professional.
Berggren.
Wow.
And so that was really a lot of fun. But I got a ride the next year through the summer with the 7TW car. And so I was going to be racing the next year. So they said, well, what are we going to do? I said, well, I got the guy. I called Brad Doty. And I said, Brad, here, you need to come do this. You know, he can talk. He's knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You know, he does good interviews and all that. So he said, well, I don't think I want to do that, and flying and renting a car.
Yeah,
he's
he's a warrior. Brad is a warrior, right?
He really hadn't been going anywhere and doing much, or even going to the races to that point, I think. So we finally talked him into it, and he came out and did it. He loved it. Fans loved him, and it worked out great for Brad. And Brad's still doing all kinds of things with racing now. So that's a big joy in my life, to be able to be a part of bringing him back into the sport that he loved and got hurt in.
Yeah.
So the sport's kind of paying him back some, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a blast. But I really didn't do a lot more after that. You know, I wrote for Open Wheel Magazine and Sprint Car Midget there for, God, I don't know, 10, 12 years, something like that. And I finally it got to be, I was too busy. So I pulled out of that thing after a while. And I mean, how many times can you think up stories, you know? I mean, it takes a lot to get a good story in there. And,
yeah.
I'm not the best typist, so it takes me a little while to type it all in. But it was a lot of fun, you know, and we've enjoyed the sport, and the sport's been great to me.
Yeah. You in our sport, compared to football or basketball, the jersey doesn't look different every year. There's no iconic jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in our sport, the Gold Eagle car, the 7T Dub, the 8T Dub, the Pennzoil 22. That's what I love about our deal. Everyone has a favorite era and a favorite car.
Yep.
The octane boost, you know, things like that, and also hometowns.
Yep.
Like people, you know, would never have heard of Worcester, Ohio outside of America.
Yeah.
If not for Jack Hordenshield.
Exactly.
So the sport has given a lot back to America, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've traveled this country for 50 years, you know, being blessed to do that. I mean, I've got to do more than most people will ever dream to do. And so I've been very blessed with that, and very thankful and appreciative. And there's so many people across the country. I mean, we used to drive back and forth across the country with a half-ton pickup and an open trailer, you know, one race car, 2 motors, you know, and ran the whole outlaw deal. You know, I took care of the thing and crew chiefed it, and a lot of times owned the whole team myself, you know, with great sponsors. And my buddy Douglas Andrew Thomason out of Missouri, the B&L electric car.
Yeah.
And we've been best friends ever since '84 when I first met him. So I mean, you know, I go stay at their place in Missouri, and then we go down to Florida and stay at their place down there in the winter some. And so they've just become some of my best friends. And that's been a lot of people. Most of the people in my life have come through racing, and the great ones are still there, and I can call them up and ask for anything, and they know they can call me and ask for the same.
Please forgive me if I get this wrong. In Tasmania, Chaz Kelly He is a great friend of Jack Hewitt. He has a phenomenal car collection. I mean, like sprint cars and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a Silver Crown car in there of yours.
It went to Australia.
It's the bank car, right?
And I was so sick. They made that auction. You had to sign up and put down money and all this. And I figured the car would go for something.
Yep.
I think he bought it for like $6,000 or something.
Wow.
And the bad thing about it is that car was race ready.
Wow.
It was completely torn down after we won with it.
Which car was it, to clarify?
The Dale Rosenholt 12 car.
Yep.
We won the Hoosier 100 with.
Yep.
And they totally built it back race ready for First Terre Haute National Bank.
Wow.
And then when he died, all the kids sold everything off, and I was sick. I'd have bought that thing. I mean, a guy could have bought it and went and raced it. You know, I mean, that was really sad, but I knew it went down there, and I was sick over that.
It's in good hands. It's in a beautiful collection of some of the most iconic. So when I see that car, I think of that. Silver Crown Racing, I mean, champ cars and all that sort of stuff, sprint cars, midgets. What's your preference? Is it always a wing car?
No, I mean, we started non-wing.
Yep.
When I started in a modified no wings, and then we started running sprint cars, no wings. And then 80% of our races were non-wing for the first several years. And then finally the Outlaws swapped over after Knoxville decided to go all wing.
Yes.
You know, and then the Outlaws went all wing. So that kind of cut out the non-wing stuff from there on. But I got into the Silver Crown deal through AJ Foyt.
Wow.
Yeah, I was running my own sprint car at the time, and I had a friend, Cecil Taylor, that changed Foyt's right front forever, and he said, "Come on by the garage. We were going to run Indy on the mile with the Outlaws," and so I said, you know, AJ, you know, he might sponsor my car over there because I run my own deal and have no names on it, and so he walked up and introduced me to AJ, and Cecil says, "AJ, so I want you to meet somebody." He said, "Yeah." He said, "This Jeff Swindell." He said, "I know who he is." He said, I about fell out. You know, how the hell does AJ Foyt know who a damn podunk guy from Tennessee is, you know?
Yeah.
But we got to shoot in the craft there for a second, and there was a whole group of people around us, you know, because AJ has an entourage that follows him everywhere, and we're standing right outside his garage. And I told him, I said, "Look, you know, I know you got a big following over at the Hoosier 100. You want it. You're involved with promoting it. I don't have any names or anything on my car. You know, AJ Foyt Chevrolet looked good on the side of that thing." And he looked, he said, "Well, what do you need?" I said, "You know, a couple grand to help out." Turned around, told the secretary, "Write Jeff a check for $2,000. I said, "Oh crap."
Well, you wish you said $5.
Yeah, I sold myself short. But then AJ started showing me everything in the garage. I ended up hanging with AJ for a year or two after that, actually. And through the whole thing. And then we went, and I was quick time at the mile that weekend, and with AJ on the side. And then they inverted 6, which was horrible. You know, you got Wolfgang, Kinzer, you know, you got everybody on front of me. We ended up running 4th on 7 cylinders. And then I went back and hung out in the garage all week with AJ. Then Bentonhausen made the 500, and he was their driver.
Wow.
And his IndyCar owner said, "You're not running the Silver Crown car on Saturday night."
Yep.
You know, this happened before, and he didn't get to run Indy.
Yeah.
And so they said, "You're not running it." And so Delrose called, Tim Delrose, good friends with AJ, called while we were sitting there in the shop, and AJ said, I could hear him say, "Well, I got your driver right here." And he starts arguing with him. And I guess Timmy told him, he said, "We don't want no damn wing car guy in our car. You know, no, he can't do that. He's not going to be able to do that." And I just sat on the pole the week before in the wing car, you know, but AJ worked on him hard for a couple of days, and finally he said, "Okay." And then we had a problem with car qualifying, started in the Consi, and I think we won it, we qualified through, and started the back of the feature for the Hoosier 100, which was actually 60 laps at that point.
Wow.
I don't know why they changed it. But we started at the back of it. It went green flag all the way to 60 laps, and going down the back straightaway on the white flag lap, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place cars were right in front of me, and one of them was Hewitt.
Oh, wow.
I was fixing to lap the entire field, full green flag, you know.
Wow.
And that was just astonishing, you know. So needless to say, Bentonhausen was out, and I was in for the rest of the race, and I ran for him for a couple of years off and on.
Life is so much consequence and chance,
Yep.
right?
Happenstance.
There you go.
Happenstance.
Where opportunity meets chance,
Yep.
you have to grab that,
Yep.
and your life would be full of that.
Absolutely.
Over the years, I've talked with people about the technology advances in sprint car racing, and fundamentally the concept is still the same. Big old right rear on the right side, smaller left rear, top wing looks fundamentally the same. There's been a lot of changes in that, right?
Very similar.
Motor programs of pretty well aluminum blocks. I spoke to Ron Shaver the other day, the innovator of aluminum blocks.
Yep.
And I often talk about shock technology has been one of the biggest advances in, everyone's got a shock dyno now.
Yep.
But bleeder technology
Yeah.
has been one of the most significant advancements in the sport. And yet, I guess because you don't see it a lot, even though those little red numbers are in that left rear,
Yep.
that has been a massive change in our sport. You must be very proud to have been at the forefront of that.
Just blessed to have been in the right position and had the time over the winter to come up with it and put it all together. We were racing with the ASCS, and all you had was little mechanical bleeders if you knew anything about it, and you just turn the top of it and set the pressure, and then hope like hell it doesn't bleed too low, or it bleeds enough off to keep your air right. And that was the best we had. And I had me and my 12-year-old son and another friend of mine working on the car, so I did not have time to maintain the bleeders, because it's a 45-minute hour job every night for one guy to maintain those mechanical bleeders and even try to get them right. And we'd come in pound off, 2 pounds off, and that'll kill you in a sprint car. And I said, there's got to be a way to do this. I just got online and started ordering parts, getting them all in.
Yeah.
I welded one up with an old piece of exhaust tube.
Really?
Yeah, out of the shop, and welded all the stuff in there and got it all in there, and I plugged it in the tire. And I had some help from Roger Johnson, is the only person that ever knew anything about this whole concept that I was doing, because he owned Kelly and Associates.
Yeah.
Big in sprint cars.
Big supporter of you too, yeah.
And helped me a lot and supported a lot of people and Australians
Brooke
and
Tatnall.
everything. Brooke,
Yeah.
And so he's the only guy I really trusted to talk to about it, because he was an innovator and a thinker outside the box, and he had a big business, and they made all kind of small electronic stuff. So I've sat down with Roger several times when I had a question. I'd take him to lunch, and he'd give me a few little ideas or pointers, and I'd go back and make it. Well, I made the first one and stuck it in the wheel in the shop, turned it on, put air in the tire, and the damn thing worked.
Wow.
And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I sat down, and I'd already had one patent on my timing timing device that I made for the Magnetos.
Yeah.
And so I was, familiar with patents and how to go about that process. And I said, everybody's going to want this. This is just it.
Game changer.
You just push a button a couple times, you're done. It's set, and it'll keep the air pressure within 1/10 of a pound. So, there's no better. So I sat back, set out to get the patent filed, got the patent filed, and while I was getting it filed through USPTO, I ran it and tested it in my right rear only in the H&H car, the 94 car.
Wow.
I'd park as far away from everybody as I could. I'd put it in my suit I'd set it, put it in my suit, walk out, nobody looking, pull the hubcap, shove it in there, put the hubcap back on it. Nobody ever knew I ran it for 6 months. Then once I finally got that done and the patent was filed, I showed it around. We showed up here at Knoxville that first summer with it, and one of the big companies walked over and said, send me 100 of them. And, I was just making them 10, 20 at a time, and paying for them as I go and building it up. And I just got to figuring, well, I could have used the money, but
Need to be right.
every one of them that sells, the people are going to call me and ask me how to use them and how to fix them and all that. So I decided not to go that route. So I worked it up and built it from nothing, into what it is today. And I'm just blessed everything went the right way. I was lucky. Somebody was looking after me, It's gone great. We're on our 3rd generation now. We've gone from a 7-inch tube that's pretty heavy down to a 3.5-inch piece that's about 12 ounces. And then the last 2 years I've been working really hard, and now I've got it down to 3 ounces, batteries and all.
Wow.
So, and this one here, I got a new wheel port that I designed with the dual ports, because we have to have a pressure reading and then a bleed a bleed side. So you keep a constant pressure reading, so the bleeder shuts off exactly when the tire pressure is right. So I had to build my own port to accept it. So this goes in the wheel, and then this just snaps right into the deal.
Yeah, that sound too.
So
like
yeah, so we got the patent going on this one too. So and this one was filed a year ago. So that's going real well. I mean, just once you start doing things, it just snowballs.
But like before you had the toaster, now we have a toaster, and you go, what a simple concept.
Yep.
Why did nobody ever think to put a piece of bread into a toaster and now you can't imagine life without it? What a simple concept, right?
Yep.
As such, but nobody thought to do it.
Yep. And I do all the 2D design, and then I go out in the garage and make one by hand. I got a little small mill lathe, and I make one by hand, and then Glenn Revell, P1 Australia. We do the PRI show together. Turned into a great friend of mine.
Good human. Yep.
And so he's got contacts of getting parts made. So he's got a guy in South America that actually does the step drawings and stuff for 2D files. So I sent this over to him a week and a half ago.
Yep.
And in 2 days I had the file back, and I got a 3D printer, and 3 days I had this part made, and it actually is a functioning part through 3D. So it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you're persistent on an idea that will work, you just got to keep going and keep going and keep going. And that's what I say, like this is, I've been on this for 2 years.
Wow.
And the first one, we're leaps and bounds beyond that first one. And everybody loved it. And it was a piece of crap, but it worked good. I mean, it didn't look good.
Yeah.
It was heavy, but everybody loved it, and they ran it immediately, so it's just everything went my way.
I failed physics, but the idea of inertia and something spinning at the speed that's got to be some of the intricacies originally of getting an accurate reading. I think when you've got something that's doing the rotations that a wheel is doing.
It actually, the wheel is an issue. Now, the axle wasn't an issue from the get-go. All the parts that I had assembled and put together worked perfect from the get-go because it was spinning in a radius this big.
Yes.
So now we're spinning in a radius this big.
Yeah.
So because it's going to be out here in the hub.
Yeah.
So we've had to do a lot of changes. This has come a long way, and 5-6 different concept designs to get to this point. And that's like the solenoid we've got in here. It's a little mostly plastic. They use it in Formula One transmissions. They use it and it's made for airplanes.
Yep.
So they're made to last, and it's smaller than a pencil, about that long, and it works perfectly. So we're pretty happy with all that. And I've got to meet a lot of good companies and get involved in a lot of good companies.
So I mean, aviation and aeronautics and things like that. When you think about chrome moly, right?
Yep.
When I was thinking about chrome moly with race cars, they build aircraft out of chrome moly. It's lightweight and it's strong.
Right. The
two properties that you need in this, along with the technology that goes into that.
Yep.
You said to me a few times you were very fortunate or very lucky. Skip Jackson tells me how fortunate he was. I like to think that you had to have the belief, the people around you, but ultimately you had to have
the main thing.
drive.
Ted Lasso, believe.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe.
It's important to know.
If you don't believe in yourself, then you might as well get a 40-hour-week job. But I mean, I took a chance. I was broke at the time, basically, and quit where I was working, and I said, I'm going to start making race car parts, and that's just the way it was. And
it's exciting to watch what you come up. You're very quiet. You don't say much. You don't come up to me and say, "Hey, Wade, guess what I'm working on?" But you got that very satisfied smile on your face that there's been a lot of work going on, and you're about to reveal the fruits of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what this will do is now, instead of being stuck with having to put it in an axle, this can go in anything with a tire and wheel. So I mean, it opens the door unbelievably, to the different aspects and parts of racing we can go to. I think we can do everything but a boat now. So that's going to be a pretty cool thing to be able to get in the middle of.
Don't plug your vape into a wheel because it looks a little. It looks quite a little bit like a vape, Jeff, it's always good to see you. I could sit down and talk to you for hours, and I hope that we get a chance to do that. I need to come to Tennessee, I think, and sit down with you and talk about your incredible career because you're one of the icons of our sport, and it's always good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's like, we are here at Knoxville, and I got to come up here and hang out all week for a week and a half with my buddy Stan Griffin. Stan the Man Griffin from Arkansas.
That is Stan the Man right there.
And he's been coming with me since the late 70s. Slept in the barn, on the hay. I mean, we've been through all that stuff. So we've been here forever. I love this place. I've won a lot of races here, never pulled off the Nationals. we got a couple of seconds, and we had a couple of other chances in there that we actually had the car to win and just never got it done. But you know, I love this place, and I'm going to be here every year, and this is like number 50. So we got our camp spot back behind turn 2 or turn 3 and by the corral, and we've had that for 20 years probably. So I'm not giving that up, because you can't get those, you know, until somebody leaves. So we're going to hang on to that and keep coming up here every year.
Good to see you, mate.
Thank you.